Hello and welcome to the Wiretap Whisper Podcast, episode 25, presented by me, Sammy ASMR. If this is the first time you're watching the podcast, this is a creator focused podcast series where I sit down with other ASMR creators in the community and I talk to them all about their channel, their personal life, and just everything in between, really, and just have a good chat. These are normally filmed in soft spoken or whispered dialogue. Today we're going to be soft speaking. Um, the nature of the podcast and an interview, sometimes it can get a little bit loud, but for the most part, we'll try to keep it pretty chill and fit in with the whole ASMR vibe. But yeah, I am extremely proud to announce that today's guest on the podcast is none other than the lovely Jinx ASMR.
Hi there.
um, yeah, so I don't think there'll be a lot of you guys, but if there's anyone watching who isn't familiar with Jinx, I have a quick summary of who she is and what her channel's about, basically. So, um, yeah, Jinx is a American creator. She has, at the time of filming this, 383,000 subscribers across 128 videos. She's been uploading ASMR content now for nearly 3 years, so I would definitely say she's a veteran in the space. Um, and if I was to kind of summarize, the style and the genre of ASMR that she produces, there's a lot of trigger videos, casual role plays, cosplay role plays as well. But honestly, it's just pretty much anything and everything, and there's a lot of different styles that she, incorporates into her videos, which makes her so versatile, basically. But yeah, that's a boring description that I have, and I'm sure Jinx is gonna give us a better one now. So for the people watching or listening at home, Jinx, who are you today?
First, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. And the person that I am today, I would say ASMR has definitely changed me. I'm a creative person. I am a lot more strong willed, and I think I'm definitely a compassionate person. I feel a lot for others, and especially when I'm doing ASMR, it gives me so much joy to bring people relaxation and any, you know, I guess anxiety relief they may need.
Yeah.
So ASMR has definitely let me as a person change into understanding people better and just overall being able to help people more than I ever have before.
I love that answer. It's so nice.
Thank you.
But yeah, if you're new to the podcast, basically how this is going to work is there is a past, a present, and a future section. Obviously, we'll be starting with the past and making our way to the future. There'll be a little bit of crossover in between, which is just the nature of things. But for the most part, that's a structure that we're going to have for today. So when I say the past, I do mean pretty far in the past. So Jinx, to start off, like I said in the summary, and like people will have heard, you're from the US, right? Uh, Growing
Yes.
up, were you brought up in like a small town or like a big city? What was the dynamic there?
Um, I wouldn't say I lived in a small town, kind of a suburban lifestyle, I
In between,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah, the in between. I didn't do many exciting things though when I was younger, but just sort of lived that suburban lifestyle.
Yeah. What was like your early memories of like growing up? Is there anything that stands out, like something that you maybe went on like a cool trip or something that you enjoyed that you did back then in terms of maybe like hobbies or interests?
When I was younger, shockingly, I think to a lot of people, I was more so entertained by things that would be considered, I guess, more boy stuff to do. So I went fishing a lot.
Okay.
I loved to always I would go and collect like live bait to go fishing. So I'd dig in the mud and like get worms and stuff. I was so into stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And I played sports. I played softball, volleyball, did a little bit of soccer,
Okay, like
um,
that.
and yeah, and my other favorite thing, I guess, would be that I usually went to Disney World around my birthday, which is May 20th. So that was kind of back when school used to end, way back when. The summer used to come around that time. So I used to get to go to Disney World some years, and that was really exciting.
I love that. I honestly, I'm a super like big fan of Disney World in general. So
Oh, yeah.
obviously you were as well. That's so nice,
hmm
especially with like soccer, because obviously where I'm from we call it football, but it's like a big
Yeah.
thing. But I know how big like women's soccer is in the US.
hmm
So it's interesting. It's interesting to hear that. Did you do like were you involved in like a local league or like a school league or anything like that?
I did local league, and then for softball, I then was able to travel. I did a travel league, which so then I went around to like multiple states and competed in tournaments and things.
Nice. Yeah. So like I mean, did you know what you wanted to be as a kid? Like, were you quite heavily invested in sport and maybe thought like that was the route that you're going to take? Or, I know as a kid, it's like some kids have like, oh, I want to be a vet or a firefighter, and like they go to town on telling everybody about it. And then some other kids, just really don't know. What was it for you?
I would say my earliest memory of what I wanted to be was a mermaid till I was 8. Definitely inspiration from Ariel,
Uh
and
huh.
definitely there was a TV series called H2O
I know what you're
that was
talking
on
about.
Nickelodeon.
Uh huh.
Yeah, and so oh my gosh, I used to just want to be a mermaid so bad, but then kind of figured out I don't think that's exactly possible. But after that, I definitely wanted to play professionally with softball. And I used to watch on like ESPN when they had college softball. I used to be so interested in that. They used to
hmm
have softball in the Olympics, which I thought would be something for me.
Yeah.
And then when I was about 14, I said, I don't want to do sports anymore. I want to sing. I just randomly was like, I want to be a singer and or a performer. And I dropped sports completely. And then my next major goal was to just be a performer. And I was able to just in high school, I got a lot of opportunities and to sing and win a couple titles, but then I have kind of went on performing this way
Yeah.
because I didn't want to lose my love of music. I was kind of not too much into the competitive field of going like into
Right.
the entertainment industry
That makes
exactly.
sense.
And so I just also I don't really sing like pop music. That wasn't my basis. I was classically trained,
Wow.
so so opera isn't exactly something that a lot of people want to listen to on the radio. But yeah, so that was in my next major job I wanted to do, and I guess now I kind of am an entertainer in a way. So
Yeah.
I kind of am living out the job that I thought when I was 14, just different ways though.
Well, even your 8-year-old self that wanted to be a mermaid, like you're kind of doing that now, with your cosplay and stuff, right? Like
Yeah, I can.
it's nice to think about. Like, so did you take any of them passions that you had, and did you transition them to college? Like, did you go to college?
I'm actually still currently in college,
Oh, okay.
and still studying things, um, and which is definitely super fun, but during a pandemic as well. But I definitely I'm a psychology major,
Right.
so I then sort of take I was always interested in how music therapy could help people,
Okay.
and that's kind of something that I'm focused on a little bit especially with, mental health and things like that. And so I've kind of taken my love for, helping people with psychology and then
Yeah.
my want to entertain people and then put that into ASMR on my YouTube videos. So I kind of get to do the things I wanted to do.
Nice. Well, it's perfect.
Mhm.
I think some people
Yeah.
just kind of go to college just because, it's just the thing that happens after high school, right? But it's
Mhm.
nice. It's nice that you're so passionate about it. And I didn't know you were still studying because I'm never going to be that guy who asks how old you are or anything like that. And you
Mhm.
definitely don't need to disclose that. Um, but yeah, okay. Well, my next question was like, what did you do after college? But you're still there. I mean, it must have been tough, like you said, studying during the pandemic. You've probably
Mhm.
had a lot of Zoom classes and things like that. Is it been a struggle?
It's definitely been a change. I'm definitely someone that likes to be around other people and, kind of be in the presence of others and, just not be so sheltered and
Right.
closed off. And I definitely think that the pandemic has definitely taken a toll on a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it does feel a bit um, silly sometimes to be like studying in college and then, you see people are still getting sick and stuff like that. So it kind of gets a bit a bit sad sometimes, but it's
Yeah.
definitely
For sure.
something like a battle.
Yeah. Are you? Because obviously, when people go to college, sometimes they go like across the country. So are you at like the campus, or are you studying from home? Like, what's the situation there?
I've decided to study from home just
That makes sense.
because I'm rather busy with a lot of things
Yeah.
that I didn't expect. So,
Yeah. So the next question is, and probably one that you've been asked quite a lot when you've done like Q&As and stuff, is how did you come across ASMR in the first place, both I guess outside of YouTube and on YouTube, if that's the case? And is there like a first video that stands out, which is like the first one that you experienced on YouTube?
um, I would say kind of my first intro to ASMR. I remember it wasn't even YouTube specifically, but I didn't know what it was at the time. I remember one of my third grade teachers would write on the whiteboard. We would have a whiteboard at the front, and I loved just like the sound of her like writing on the board or like
Okay.
coloring it in. It would relax me so much. And I remember being like a freshman in high school and I was stressed out. And I just remembered that comforted me when I was younger. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, is it weird to look up videos of people writing on a whiteboard? And I looked it up and I just found all this stuff of where it was like ASMR drawing, ASMR writing. So I can't remember exactly
What
the
the first
first
video?
video.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was definitely just looking that up and then getting kind of lost in it. And then just from there, I kept watching.
I love it. So, like, can you remember like what year it was when this first happened?
So that would probably be like when I was in third grade
Like the YouTube, like
or
when
when
you
I
actually
first
got it
started.
onto YouTube, yeah.
Okay. Um,
Just trying to gauge like when
let's
you
see
entered
when
the
I
scene,
was.
basically.
So when I first saw it, I think that'd be about 2013,
Wow.
2014
So like, I mean, that's
was when
like
I first
pretty
saw
much at
it.
the start of the ASMR timeline, right? I mean,
Mhm. But it was,
go on.
yeah, it was kind of people, sorry, it's kind of people like these videos wouldn't even have that many views because it
Mhm.
was kind of like a weird thing and it would just be like the thumbnail would be like a picture of like a table and a whiteboard or something. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
even anything like spectacular, like the thumbnails and all the stuff that we do nowadays is very like lo-fi and different.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. So what made you stay for more? Was it kind of just like, you were stressed during high school and then, you found this thing which relaxed you, in previous years, and then you were just relying on that now, like to like de-stress and calm your anxiety and stuff? Is that what made you stay?
Mhm. I really liked the idea that ASMR was able to help people, and definitely as it continued to grow, I would sort of see like people continue to say, "Oh my gosh, this helps me so much. It's so relaxing." All those things, and I just felt so grateful, like to all the creators and for helping people that I was like, I kind of want to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
I was sort of like, even if no one sees my video, I still want to do it at some point. But I didn't do it for like the longest time. And then one day I was just like, it was a quiet day in my dorm in college, and I kind of felt a little lonely. People were gone, and I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm doing it. I'm staying on the scene, and I want to be involved with the people that made me relaxed. So that's kind of why I've stayed in it so
So
long.
that's how it came about, right? Okay. Because obviously
Mhm.
we're going to definitely get into that a little bit more. But like, do you
Yeah.
still
Sorry,
rely?
I'm getting ahead of
No, that's
myself.
perfectly fine. Go for it. Do you still rely on ASMR for that type of thing now? And I'm guessing maybe you do because obviously you're still in college and I know how stressful it is.
I definitely do. I kind of go back and forth to the things that I listen to. Sometimes I like sounds that feel more produced, like a lot has gone into it, like really,
Mm-hmm.
um, very like, I guess, yeah, I just sort of call it produced, like
Cinematic.
not meaning bad, but like really, yeah, like really like a experience. And then sometimes I like watching like the lo-fi ones because they kind of make you feel like a kid again, or like at home just like relaxing. And I kind of like the background noise, like as a white noise, I guess.
Yeah. No, nice. I think that's the beauty of
Mhm.
ASMR, right? There's just so many different styles and genres of of the content. And
Yeah.
there's like something for everyone. Or in your case,
Hmm.
you just dive into whichever part you want when you feel like it. So
Yeah.
I noticed when I looked on your account, you started uploading in 2018, but you actually created your YouTube account in 2016. What's the story there? I'm guessing it was like you said, you kind of just took a bit of time to build up to doing that first video, or was it something a little bit more?
Yeah. I actually had the account created, and I also, of course, watched definitely back in the day, like I guess lifestyle, kind of YouTubers and things. And I remember one day I randomly was like, I want to be a lifestyle YouTuber
I've
and
had that
like,
before.
film my outfit of the day and like
Uh
stuff. And definitely was like, maybe I'll be a vlogger or something, which I could never vlog. My life, I don't think is that interesting. But I then that's why I created it, and I was gonna upload on it, and then I got scared and was like, I don't think I want to do that anymore. And I was really young too. So then I waited, and then I one day said, why don't I use that one account to upload ASMR?
Yeah. I I don't actually know this. And I would assume a lot of people do who watch your content, but where did the name Jinx come from? What was the inspiration there?
So the name Jinx, people usually think it's like League of Legends. It's not League of Legends. I it's a bit of a story. So I remember I used to watch again in high school too. I was very I guess like nerdy with stuff, especially with anime or gamers or stuff like that. And I used to
Yeah.
watch people stream on Twitch. Um, and I also at one point in time was like, oh, I want to stream on Twitch. I want to be, a video game streamer.
Uh-huh.
And which I'm terrible at video games to begin with, so thank God I didn't pick that career path, but heaven forbid.
Uh-huh.
But so I came up with the name based on a character that I love from it was from Teen Titans, like the cartoon series.
I know what you're talking
And
about.
there's one character, her name was Jinx, and she came in there sometimes, and I loved her when I was a kid. And I was like, oh, if I could be like any superhero slash she wasn't a superhero, but like sort of a morally gray character, because I
Right.
kind of feel like I relate to those people a little bit more. I was like, she's someone I'd want to be. So I had that name Jinx picked out since I was like 13 or 14 or however young. And I was just like, let me make my 13 or 14-year-old self happy.
Yeah.
And I put it on there and was like, oh, now I'm Jinx. So
That's so nice. And now you say Teen
Mhm.
Titans, I've actually seen, I think it's like your little emblem that comes up in the bottom right hand corner of the video, and it's
Mhm.
it's her. And I knew it was
Yeah.
from yeah, so that makes so much more sense now, because I used to love Teen
Mhm.
Titans as well as a kid.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the best cartoons. But
Oh, yeah.
we'll get into that. There's a lot. There's definitely going to be a cartoon / anime section. But
Mhm.
yeah, like I guess is like the next question is what were the motivations behind starting your channel. But I feel like you've touched on them. You were kind of a big fan yourself. You always wanted to help people.
Mhm.
You liked what these other creators were doing, so it was kind of just why not do it myself, right? So unless there's anything else that you wanted to add, did you have like any early expectations that you like set on yourself to do well, or was it kind of just, I just want to do this for fun, and we're gonna see how it goes?
Oh, no, I thought no one was gonna watch me. I thought
Oh no.
no one was gonna click on the video. I was just like, I think I still have my first video up, and it's like if you watch it, I'm this nervous, shy girl in
I've
front of the
watched it.
camera, like,
Yeah.
oh, let me just like do this and let's see if people like. I didn't even have the mic set up correctly or anything. The sound's kind of off, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely was just kind of putting myself out there. Um, and then when it sort of got traction, I then sort of set a goal for myself of that I was like, okay, let me hit 1,000 subscribers in a year. Well, I hit like 1,000 subscribers a lot
Oh
faster
yeah.
than that
Yeah.
and wasn't really ready for it. So, but I was, no, I had zero expectations and I really did it just to be like, I want to help people and I didn't even know that anyone would watch. So,
Yeah. That's lovely. Like, did you have any creators that you kind of watched, before you started, and you kind of took inspiration from them, and you thought like, oh, I love what they're doing with their channel and their content. I don't want to copy it, but I want to integrate it into my stuff. Is there an example there, or was it kind of just your own original thing that you wanted to do?
I think it was just kind of a combination of a lot of people I had seen. Um, I'm trying to think if there was. I can't really think of anyone specifically that
That's cool.
inspired me to set up my videos the way
Hmm.
that I do, but definitely just a lot of people that I think definitely, the way that like Raffy Taffy was definitely a big inspiration for me,
Okay.
and the way that they always stayed sort of like honest to themselves in their videos. They
Yeah,
always
true to
felt
who
like
they
they were
were.
being the same person. And yeah, so I definitely think maybe he was sort of an inspiration to, being me and just putting my stuff out there and, seeing what came from it.
Yeah, that's a nice way to look at it. Was there anyone like, I guess like outside the community that inspired you, maybe like a family member, a friend, and you were like, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, and like kind of give you like the push to do it? Was there any external factors there, or was it just all on you? Because I'm guessing you maybe didn't tell anyone about it, because people tend to do that when it comes to ASMR.
Right. No, I didn't say anything. I'm kind of the sort of person that I do and then I tell later. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and just because I'll get my mindset on something and then I want to do it, so I just do it. And I kind of don't give anyone the opportunity to tell me that that would be a bad idea
Nice.
till after I've done it.
You're the chaotic
So,
character.
yeah, nothing too crazy though, but
No.
definitely I just started up and did it, and then but
Yeah.
definitely like my family knows and stuff because I just tell them they think it's crazy that like I'll have all these mics and stuff like that. They're like, "What are you doing?" And so then I kind of tell them they kind of understand what it is, but I don't
The-
think that they
no.
experience it the way that I do.
No, the parents never do. Um,
Right.
but yeah, that kind of concludes the past section. And now we're going to move on to the present. It's called the present, but it's still in the past. So it's basically from when you've uploaded your first video. So for people who don't know, your first ever video is titled ASMR Paper Ripping / Tearing. And I don't think it did that. I don't think it. 140,000 views. Not the best first video. I don't.
It's terrible.
I know. That's a lot of views for any video, but like especially a first one. The question that I go to with this one is, is it really your first ever video? Because a lot of people delete their first video because they find it too cringe, or they're just not happy with it anymore. I think it is, but can you confirm?
It is. It's my first video on this channel, and definitely it is something that I go back and I don't even think I can bring myself to watch it, because it's just so like, "Ugh," like why am I acting like that, or why am I saying that? And I get very like hypercritical of myself. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's my first video as Jinx on the channel. So.
Yeah, like why have you kept it up then? Is it kind of like, is it just like, this is a part of what I've created, it's the first ever stepping stone, and I kind of want to memorialize it, I guess is the word to use. But yeah, why is it still up there and not deleted basically?
Yeah, it's sort of, to remember where I started, where
Hmm.
I came from, my first ever video. I think it's fun to reminisce and, remember how I was when I first started. And so I like to keep it up just to be like, you know, whatever, it was me, and that's my authentic self, even though I feel very nervous in the video, but
Yeah,
it's always fun to watch. I kind of like it.
it's nice, like you said, it's just nice
Hmm.
to like look back on, and you know
Yeah.
yeah, but it shows you how far you've come as well, like with your current content, which is, I think, is cool,
Hmm.
because you got the Yeti going on in that video. It is
Yeah.
super dark. Like where was this filmed? Was this
Yes.
filmed in like your parents' house?
Um, yeah, it was filmed. I was on a break. I think it was winter break or around that time. And so I had my Yeti, and I just like set up this really like rigged situation of like my laptop slightly tilted, and like I think it's my iPhone camera, and it's sitting on a few college textbooks, like,
Nice.
so then it's actually sitting up. And I didn't even I pretty much I didn't even turn on the light because I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be so embarrassing if someone walks in on me and I'm doing this." So I filmed it, I think it was late at night, and so I just want to pretend like I was still asleep.
Yeah.
So that's why it's completely dark.
Yeah, well, you minimize like the risk of like someone hearing you, or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's so funny. Like how did this video do when it first dropped? Because I know for a fact, which we're gonna talk about, like you blew up pretty much straight away. Like, so like in that
Mhm.
first maybe 24 hours, like how did it do? Can you remember?
I remember I uploaded it, and I like logged out of YouTube, completely went out of it, and was just like, I've put it up. I didn't really check anything. And then I remember getting an email like either a day or two later, and it was like, congratulations, you have 100 subscribers or something like that. Like, that YouTube email that you get. And I was like,
Okay.
100 subscribers. I
What?
feel like this is wrong, that I shouldn't have gotten that.
There's a glitch.
And I remember it. Yeah, I know. I was like, they sent this to the wrong girl. There's some other Jinx out there. I know there is. Um, and so I then checked back in on it, and it had a couple thousand views, I think, in the first like day or two. And it just kept going up and up. And I was just like, okay. And then it sort of stopped. I think it had a couple thousand, but then the next video was definitely, I think, the one that sort of took off a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so like when I do this section for the podcast, and I like research the guests, I go the way back and I kind of look for trends and kind of see like, oh, when did the views start to pick up, and when did things like start to gain traction and stuff. You
Mhm.
know, when the first video has 140,000 views and the rest follow suit, it's a bit hard to do that, right? You know,
Mhm.
like I said, I think all of your videos have over 100k views.
Mhm.
But to pick some out, after not even 2 weeks of uploading, because I actually checked the dates on the videos. Um, you have this one video, which again I assume like blew up. So it's titled ASMR trigger words to help you sleep, and it has 1.2 million. Because I think because that was the fourth video you'd uploaded, and I think the first three was like a couple of 100,000. Um, because it has like so many videos now, I'm guessing, you know, this picked up instantly at the time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, like what we're
That
talking about in
was,
views, yeah.
uh, I think, I mean, it was so fast. I think you can kind of see a little bit in my community tab. I remember I kept on posting like thank yous for like 40,000, 50,000, like all that stuff. And it was like days in
Uh
between.
huh.
I mean, it became sort of like a joke to even check, how many subscribers or views I was getting. And I definitely think that was the video that sort of, you know, put me on the, I guess, map for a lot of people.
Right.
And
Probably me as
why,
well,
you
honestly.
know,
Like now I'm thinking about it. I'm pretty sure like I followed you for like the most part of your, you know, your channel life. So it's insane to
mhm,
think about.
yeah, I know. Well, it's nice that, a lot of people were watching me. There was definitely an influx of, you know, a new sort of reality to live
Yeah.
that I sort of was living like, yeah, there were a lot of people watching, but not so many people staying like invested. And I think all creators do that. You can get a video that has a lot of views, but subscribers don't always, you know, mirror the amount of views.
Right. I get
So
you.
it was like I was getting a lot of views on this video, and then I was getting a lot of subscribers. And then people commenting and asking, like, where's your social media? Like, we want to stay up with you. Like, we want to know, like, what you're doing, all that stuff. And so I had to create eventually
Yeah.
social media for myself. And it was like very fast, very fast
Yeah.
paced.
Well, I do have a little stat because I managed to work it out. So basically, you done a video and it was like Q&A for 20,000 subscribers, and
Mhm.
that was only 3 weeks in from you uploading that first video, which
Yeah.
for people that didn't know, that's how quickly Jinx blew up. And again, you know, I'm guessing that early success was something that you didn't expect, right? And I think you've touched on
Mm-mm.
that. What do you attribute that to?
Luck.
It's not luck.
um,
No.
there was definitely hard work put into it, but I guess again, sort of the thing I kind of stick to and try to keep myself sticking to is just being me, being honest, being sort of, someone that no matter what anyone says, I sort of just continued to do what I wanted to do
Right.
and didn't change. So that's definitely something I would say maybe kept people interested in watching.
Yeah. You've done two role play videos quite early on, and these were actually the first ones you've ever done. They're actually fairy tale role plays, which for people who don't know is in
Mhm.
anime. One has 281,000 views, and the other has 182,000 views. Was there always like a drive to do role play like ASMR when you first started?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay.
I couldn't see myself as a script writer or, putting like a one woman show on because I just always thought, I already thought it was kind of weird enough that I was a person that talked to a camera.
Yeah.
Um, and it always is kind of a weird feeling when you start out. You're like, am I losing my mind or is this normal?
Yeah.
Um, so I was having people that were watching my videos saying, I'd love to see you talk so much about anime or being interested in this stuff. I'd love to see you, do a video on it. And I said, okay, fine. let me try it out. And I tried it out and I was like, okay, I really like doing this surprisingly because it's like being an entertainer in a way and getting, to write your own story with a character you already love. So
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it.
Well, and I mean, and the rest is history after that point. Like, you've obviously done, so many more role plays since.
Mhm.
Like, was it like super nerve wracking at all when you first started, or did you just kind of like find your groove straight away? Because obviously, you'd done a little bit with singing, so you were kind of used to a little bit performing. Obviously, you were like, I'm
Mhm.
guessing a big anime fan to do, a fairy tale role play, so you kind of had the passion behind it as well. So yeah, did you take to it like straight away, or was it just super nerve wracking at first?
Um, I would say it was quite nerve-wracking. My first green screen had come in, and I had never
Okay,
done
yeah.
anything with a green screen.
Mm-hmm.
So there was definitely that battle to face, and that one was scarier, I think, to me than than actually doing the role play a little bit. Was trying something completely new and different, and it was definitely though nerve-wracking. I wanted to give a video that people would enjoy and a video that I was proud of.
Yeah.
I'll like never put out content if I'm not proud of it.
Uh-huh.
Even if I'm like on a schedule or something, I'll be like, hey guys, this video is not what I wanted. So I definitely,
I respect that. Yeah.
with the fairy tale stuff, I put a lot into it and was proud of it. So yeah.
Yeah. If you're a hardcore Jinx fan, you probably know that you obviously love anime. But obviously back then this
Mhm.
was like the first sign of it on the channel, right? Why start with
Yeah.
fairy tale?
Um, it was a it was an anime that I really loved at the time. I went back and forth between that and Naruto. So I sort of was like, which one am I wanting to do? And I just so happened to have um, more stuff to do a fairy tale one um, than I did to do a Naruto one. And
Yeah,
so I
you
went
went
with
for that.
Fairy Tail and I really loved it. And, it was an anime that I had watched for a while and definitely was something else that would help me with nerves in high school, was just watching Fairy Tail and enjoying it. So I sort of wanted to give back in a way by creating a video and paying homage to it. So,
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I love like role playing and stuff myself, and anime, so
mhm.
it obviously just made like perfect sense for you.
Yeah.
Fairy Tail is one of the ones that's definitely escaped me. I've never got around to watching it. I kind of done. I started with like One Piece, and then I did Naruto,
Mhm.
and I've done Hunter x Hunter, um, and yeah, the next one was like Bleach that I kind of hadn't done. So I'm still making my way through that, but I feel like Fairy Tale's next. So if you've given it a good
Yeah.
review, I kind of have to do it next, right?
Yes, it's definitely it's not as long as the other ones that you
Oh
mentioned,
well, that's
but
good.
it is quite long. Again, for some people it's, anything more than like 12 or 24 episodes, it sort of gets a bit like, "Oh, do I want to watch
No,
this?"
they're
But
they're, they're rookie numbers.
um yeah, yeah. It's got a few good movies out there and stuff, and definitely it's got, feel good moments, and I've gotten to meet a few of the voice actors from the show, and it definitely made me
Oh wow,
love
how
it more.
how did that
So,
happen? Just at cons.
well, I ended up going to conventions afterwards, and I got to meet a few of the voice actors because I was cosplaying as one of the characters, and they came up
Ah,
and talked to me, and it was really cool too. It was also my first sort of step into cosplaying too, were those role play videos. So,
I love it. I love it. No, I'm so
mhm.
happy for you. Like, because obviously,
Thank
since
you.
since them ones, you've done other anime inspired role plays as well, right? Like, I think
Mhm.
your main one is probably like My Hero Academia. You've had a couple of those.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is the Kami one. I feel like you were just one of these
Oh,
people that
thank you.
was born to like cosplay Kami.
Oh, thank you.
What's been your favorite to film?
Um, I would say definitely I do love my cami ones, but I love the Uraraka one because
Okay.
I cannot eat mochi to save my life. I've never figured out a good time to, the like mochi ice cream
Mm-hmm.
that's like sort of the squishy, spongy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you've got to wait a certain amount of time for it to not be frozen, but for it to also be still solid. And so I had this idea while recording the video to eat mochi as uraraka and, be like hanging out with a friend, eating at lunch. And so there's just so many moments in that video where you can definitely like see the type of person that I am come through, even if I'm playing a character, but it's just melting, dissolving in my hand as I'm trying to eat it because I failed so many times. I still haven't figured it out, but definitely one of my favorites to do.
Yeah, because I think you've done like a Togo one as well. Like that's so good.
Hmm.
Um,
Thank you.
do you just watch the anime, or are you like a manga reader as well? How hardcore are you into My Hero?
I definitely read the manga as well. I'm kind of a bit behind though right now, but
Okay,
just because of college and everything. But
right. I know how it is.
definitely, yeah, definitely if I get the chance to, I like to read and you always have to keep up because if you're on Twitter, you'll see a spoiler
Right, that's
for a
it.
chapter or something.
That's
So,
the problem. Like once you get involved in like the fandom and stuff, it's like you need to be caught up, otherwise you're gonna get slapped across the face with a
yeah.
spoiler.
Yes.
No, that's so nice. I mean, I got into anime and it was kind of one of them situations where if it was like still an ongoing one, like I'd catch up and I'd be like, I need more in my life. So I just
Mhm.
naturally went to manga to get that extra fix, and then I ran into the same problem.
Yeah.
With manga. But yeah, the My Hero manga right now is so good. So like when you definitely find the time, you're
Mhm.
gonna love that. But I feel like they do a good job with the anime as well. It's one of them ones where both the anime and the manga just really fire.
Yeah.
Um, Cosplay is like clearly a big passion of yours in general. Like how did that start? What was the first experience there?
Um, Well, definitely then when I go back into high school, I did do some theater and sorts. So I would dress up and, play characters in that. And then I sort of thought to myself, well, how can I continue doing this
Uh-huh.
without, being like a Broadway or stage actor? I always thought that's like way out of the picture for me. So I never really went into that. And then
Yeah.
doing ASMR videos and finding out about role plays, that love for doing dressing up and representing a character sort of came back.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I always seem to adore characters that aren't like super popular characters. So I struggled with sometimes finding like a pre-made costume or a good pre-made costume for characters. So then I went, okay, fine, I'll just do it myself. and
Oh,
I
okay.
and so
Nice.
I started. I still buy some costumes and sorts, especially when it seems more reasonable to purchase one or something. But
Yeah.
I definitely worked a lot on teaching myself how to sew and sorts, and just learning completely from YouTube videos. Again, YouTube impacting my life. And then I just got into cosplay and wanted to, continue doing it outside of ASMR and going to cons and meeting people. And
Yeah.
yeah.
You got a good guest, by the way, guys, when she like answers all of your next questions for you, and then when she's speaking and you think of new
I'm
ones, she
sorry.
continues to do it. No, it's great. Like, no, it makes my life easier. But it also is like a compliment to me because like you're naturally instinctively like going for these next questions. So that's so
Yeah.
nice. How like you said, one of the questions was, do you buy the costumes or you make them? You kind of said that you started to make them, and then obviously you relied on YouTube videos to help you with that process. I think like that's what puts me off. Like I'm not good with like my hands and being creative like that, so
Mhm.
that always puts me off. And then when you buy like pre-made costumes, like they're just really expensive, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. um you do like really professional, I guess, shoots now with
Mhm.
cosplay and stuff. And that stuff goes onto your Patreon, right? I think that's like the main outsource. Is that, yeah? Can you talk about like
Yeah.
that in a bit more?
So definitely since cosplay is so expensive, I still want to do it and I still find so much joy in doing it and creating characters and bringing them to life. And so I'll sometimes post them on Instagram or Twitter, but I definitely, allow a lot of access to see, the characters that I create and do on Patreon as it
Yeah.
just, gives a more, I guess, community feel of being involved in Patreon, plus allowing me to continue to create. And I get to find out which characters people want me to create and,
Uh-huh.
you know, kind of create that good community base there.
Yeah. Eh, Do you what's the balance right now between like, your passion for ASMR and passion for like cosplay? Is there like one that like stands out? Because I know people can either be, full-time ASMR artists, or I've seen, people on social media that are like full-time cosplayers. Is the dream to do both? Is the dream to do, prioritize one? Like what's your head thinking there?
My dream would definitely be to do both and do both successfully.
Hmm.
I've always been the type of person that I can't stay put doing one thing. I find myself getting rather like feeling like I'm limiting myself.
Yeah,
And so if I enjoy ASMR and I enjoy cosplaying, I sort of tell myself, there's no reason why I can't do both.
absolutely.
So I would love to just do both. And, it's kind of like when people are actors and musicians or models, they do like everything. So I'm like, well, why can't, even though if I'm just someone on the internet,
Yeah.
why can't I do everything too?
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. And I think you're smashing it
Mhm.
on both ends. So keep going.
Well, thank you.
Do you have like a favorite cosplayer?
I love Jessica Negri. I
Okay.
think she's
A,
awesome.
the
She's
classic.
definitely like
She might be the queen.
she's definitely up there. There's also Yaya Han, which I love the works that she creates too, and
Okay.
she has her own fabric and sorts, so she's really awesome too.
That's the inspiration there. I like it.
Mhm.
Nice, nice. Um Now a little bit of a controversial topic here.
Mhm.
So let's talk ear eating. Um
Okay.
you done I think, unless I missed something, but you've done an ear eating video around 5 months after you started uploading. And the
Mhm.
first one was titled ASMR Ear Noms Intense 3DO Sounds for Relaxation, that has 1.6 million views, and it's actually one of your most popular videos to date.
Mhm.
Prior to this, was there like a pressure from like your fans and your community to do like an ear eating video or something of that nature?
Um, I definitely think that people did want to see an ear eating video.
Hmm.
I had never been one to sort of go towards those types of videos.
That makes
And then, because I don't know, at the start, I wasn't someone that was so like involved with mouth sounds. I mean, I even sometimes got like the ick factor when I could hear like someone's like all the mouth sounds, like if someone were to eat like in front of me or something.
yeah.
And so I was just like, ooh, like, is this a video I want to do? And so then I started watching other creators who did ear eating videos. And I was like, okay, I can kind of get behind this. I see what people are talking about. And so I definitely had like a push from my community, but I don't think that like if I didn't want to do it, I don't think I would have done it.
Right. Yeah. It was kind of like, you were warming to the idea yourself, as you
Mhm.
watched the creators do it, and there was this push, so it kind of just made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so you started off as a mouth sound hater, is that what I'm getting? But you kind of grew into being a fan.
A little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm gonna say? Videos like this naturally bring like, we'll call it hate comments, creepy
Mhm.
comments. How do you deal with that type of thing? Obviously, it's probably something that you still deal with now, not just on 3DO e-reading videos, right?
Mhm.
But I guess specifically like at that time, yeah. How did you deal with that? And I guess how do you still deal with that now?
Um, I would I would love to say, like, I feel like people always say, they're like, "Oh, I just don't look at the comments, I don't let haters get to me," or, whatever people say. But it's sometimes hard, especially when, you might get a YouTube notification or something that, says something that someone said. And some people can be so cruel online for gosh knows what reason.
That
I guess they
keyboard gives
just
them all the
feel,
confidence.
yeah, it does. um, and so I sort of dealt with it by kind of making friends in the ASMR community. I kind of I have a few. I'm not really a person to reach out. I'm kind of bad about that. I've always kind of been an independent person.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Um, so yeah, but sometimes I'm like, maybe I should try to reach out and
Get a little
talk to more
circle.
people, not seem
Yeah.
so, yeah. Um, so I definitely think from the help of, other creators and definitely from my own community, because there are plenty of people that watch me and subscribe to me and genuinely enjoy what I do
Yeah.
and the content that I make. And so I have to remind myself that even if there's some random person on here that just seems so bitter about their lives, or apparently me, eating into a mic or whatever I wear has like ruined their day and their life like forever, I
Hmm.
have to, remind myself, there's just this like dramatic sense to people online that just feel like they can say whatever they want to. And I just sort of have to go, you know what? That is enough internet for today. And I should definitely just, remain true to myself and, you know,
Just rise above it.
remain with my friends. And yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, that can't be easy to deal with, like especially on your scale. When you're getting hundreds of thousands of views on these videos, if not millions, sometimes. So
Mhm.
and I've been like, I've been there as a fan of you and seen those comment sections for years. And they are truly like vile comments, like some of them.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I guess it's easier said than done. But you've got to focus on
Yeah.
the positive people, and the ones that are truly supporting you. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm glad it's not getting you down too bad.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. The next question is: would you do one of those types of videos again? Because since that first one, you've done a couple, but you haven't uploaded one in a while, right? Is there a reason for that? Have you thought about it? What's going on?
YouTube is the reason. They they sort of, I I feel like right now I'm sort of teetering on this like scale with YouTube that I've gone back and forth a few times with them, demonetizing like everything. And not that, cuz then people will say, oh, you're complaining about demonetization, yet,
Yeah.
you probably don't care about what you do. It's like, no, it's not that I don't care, but it does feel a bit disrespectful from a platform that you're a creator on, just to like, or disheartening, maybe not so disrespectful, but like disheartening because, it shouldn't matter what we wear, or even, eating into an ear microphone shouldn't, result in saying that it's like sexual content or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So, I've definitely tried to stay away from it because I'm trying to be on YouTube's like good graces, but I'll
Yeah.
upload them onto Patreon sometimes. And I just I don't want to get into a to an argument with YouTube anytime soon. So that's definitely been the reason why I've stayed away from on YouTube from uploading.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely speak to that because um, I do that type of content, and
Mhm.
yeah, it all gets demonetized. But I mean, it's one of them ones where
Yep.
like it's kind of it's more serious for you, so I guess um, you know, it's more of an issue. But like, I'm
Mhm.
making I'm making money, but like very small
Yeah.
amounts of money, right? And that's not why I'm doing the whole gig. So it doesn't matter to me that it gets
Right.
demonetized, but it definitely feels shit, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Because sometimes what comes like demonetization is that then people don't see your channel, and it's just sort of
right,
like
you get like a
you
shadow
feel a
ban.
bit
Hmm.
like, so it just feels a bit like I've put so much time and effort and the amount of hours and work and everything. So it's just like, I guess I'll just remain like a little angel on the on the platform for now,
Yeah,
and not do the fearful ear eating.
yeah. Um, I do this with all the guests I get on because it's just what has to happen. But we've got to talk about your most watched video. which is titled ASMR Extreme 3DO Tingles, and that has 2.3 million views. That's insane. Did you expect this to be your like most popular video when you uploaded it? No. There
No,
never is.
no.
Never is.
It's always the videos that you just, you do it and I'm like, the amount of not that I didn't put any time or effort into it, but it's like, you compare that video to a video that you put a lot of like editing
100%.
and, sound work and everything, and that video will get like not even half the views that this video does. It's just um me sort of like almost goofing around with the mic a little bit in it and seeing which tingles, are really good in the mic. And so it was just shocking to me that that's the one that blew up because I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah. Side note, because I've just thought about it. How did you come up with your intro to your videos? Because you do that little thing with it's like a
Mhm.
it's like a tiger or like a cat or a yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I, oh gosh, I don't know. I guess it's just, the sort of like, it's kind of a rock on thing, but at the same time, there's a creator on TikTok, and her name is Aviva Sophia. She's on there, and she used to do like e-girl stuff. I think she still does, but she used to do this.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, oh, that's kind of like, rock on or something like that. So then I was like, that's kind of cute. And so I definitely took inspiration from her, but she didn't do the waving and that. But I remember in one video she went like
She
this,
did
and I
that.
was like, that's kind of
You can
cute.
do
Let
that
me.
as well. So, but like, what about the
Yeah.
sound that you
So
make?
oh, the
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
the rolling of the R. I I couldn't think for the longest time for me like what my intro should be. And so many people were like, all these other um YouTubers have their own specific intro, and
Yeah. Something unique.
um like I mean, I feel like everyone knows like ASMR Darling's intro. Like everyone knows that. And I was like, what's something that's kind of fun? And I was like, oh, I can make like a yeah, yeah. I was like, I can make a cat sound because I used to wear cat ears a lot in my videos, and I was like, what if I made like a purring sound? I mean, people watch ASMR cat videos for purring, so
Yeah.
why not
It
make
definitely
it myself?
it
And
definitely gives the tingles.
yeah, so I started doing it.
So the next thing is, I don't know if you remember this. This will test you. But when I felt like a couple of minutes into my channel, I decided to do a video, and it was replicating other ASMR artists' intros. And I
Mhm.
done Darling, I done Glow, and I done You. Um,
Yeah,
and you ended up finding that video somehow and commented
I
on it,
did.
which made my day, by the way.
Mhm.
How did you find it?
Well, it made my day that, you did it because honestly, I feel like um, there there's some creators I feel like sometimes we kind of get overlooked, whether it's, the things that we talk about or how we dress or act or stuff. And,
Right.
it's just, it is what it is. But I was told by someone, they were like, hey, there's an ASM artist and they did an impression of your intro. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, no one ever does it. Like, I see people will do like ASMR intro impressions, 50 plus creators, and like, no one does mine, which I'm not saying anyone has to,
I
but
know.
sometimes you're kind of like, oh, is anyone gonna do it?
Uh-huh.
And so someone told me that you did it, and I was like, oh, I have to watch this. Like, right. I like dropped everything. I was like, yes, like my dream come true to really have like my intro just officially like out there, and, having people do an impression of it. It really meant a lot. So that's definitely something I was excited for.
That's so nice. You can see my big smile. This is me back
Yeah.
then as well when I seen it. Because it wasn't for a while. Like, I think the video had been out a while when you ended up seeing it. So it was kind of
Mhm.
I kind of just resigned to the fact that like no one was gonna see it. Um but yeah, it was so nice, and I just did you
Mhm.
because like I said the whole time, like I've just been a big fan for so long, and obviously genuinely thought that your intro was a unique, to do one, and
Hmm.
then be tingly. Like that's what makes a good intro, in my opinion. Like it stands out from the rest, and it's super tingly. So
Hmm.
it was my pleasure.
Thank you.
But back to, I know we sidetracked there, but I made a mental note to talk about all that stuff. Back to
Mhm.
your most popular video, you said you didn't expect it to do so well. Why did you think it did so well then? I know it's hard to be, not modest in these situations, but yeah, what was it about it?
Um, well, I had a lot of videos that were picking up around the time, and I think there was like a big point in time where like 3DO videos were like kicking off everywhere, and
Mm-hmm.
so many people were doing them, and they were so popular. So I think that, and I used to really like do my makeup like e-girl makeup, like all that stuff. And I
Right.
sometimes still do it, but I think that there definitely was sort of maybe an appeal to the way that I did my makeup and, wearing, you know, whatever I was wearing in the video and,
Yeah.
just the 3DO aspect. I think it definitely brought people in, but I guess the algorithm just also picked it up and really helped it go off. But I'm clueless to this day on
True.
why it did so well that it did.
No, I think it was just one of them things where, like you said, you had a good run of views, like doing really well,
Mhm.
and you just constantly putting out good content. So I think you should give yourself some credit and not the algorithm, because we hate the
Thank
algorithm.
you. Me
Um,
too. Yeah.
what I'm about to say, I'm going to preface this. This is not what I think, by the way, because I wrote this down. I was like, "There's
Mhm.
no way I can ask her this because she's going to think I think this," but I truly don't.
No, it's
Um,
fine. Ask away.
it kind of like ties in with what I just asked about why you think that video done so well, and I guess maybe your videos in general. If someone said to you, um, "Oh, she only gets these views because she's hot or because of her body," what would you say to that? And is that fair?
I would sort of say that it's sort of a shallow look on a person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think people should be able to, make content no matter how they dress, no matter how they act or how they look. There's plenty of people that, people can watch out there that they feel are more modest for them or they're viewing if they really want to judge people on how they look,
Yeah.
if they're so, offended by it. Um, I just would say I don't think that so many people would stick around to watch my videos if it was
I wouldn't.
completely
Yeah.
based on that. I think eventually, after 3 years, maybe people would be like, you know, who's the next hot thing? Let me go watch them.
Right.
Like, I think that,
I think you're totally right.
eventually it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think eventually, the the craze would completely leave and then I should only be getting like 100 views a video then I guess if I'm not, good at what I do, but I do think I put effort and make good ASMR content. So, if they just happen to think the latter, like you said about body or looks, then,
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you think, why not watch it and enjoy the content? Because I would say we definitely watch creators that we find attractive as well. So it's like, I mean, why not enjoy an attractive person doing something that you like if that's how you look at them?
Yeah. No. Again, that's not what I thought. I was just
Yeah.
kind of, I wanted to see your
No, I
opinion on it,
know.
because I do like
Yeah.
I do see comments that kind of play into that whole narrative, and it's not right.
Mhm.
Because I mean, some of my favorite creators, you don't even see the full face, and it's like,
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest channels is ASMR Bakery. I don't know if you've seen her stuff.
Mhm.
You probably have, but again, uh, I think she shows like half a face or like a very small portion of a
Mhm.
face, and it's just all about the triggers and stuff. And I think she creates amazing videos. Like I would love to get her on, but she's not on any socials to like reach out. She doesn't have an
Oh, yeah.
email. Um, and there's some smaller ones. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's called ASMR Softy. Again, it's the same. It's you can't see her, and it's all about the triggers and the tingles. And I think it's right with what you said. It's kind of like, if it was all about the looks, after so long of doing this, like 3 years nearly, like, people would go elsewhere if you weren't very good at actually the ASMR aspect.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Sorry for bringing that up, but that's yeah,
No, no, you're fine. I mean, and I also think, I mean, plus there's like it's a bit out there, but I'm like, there's always, if there's plenty of, like other places that people could go to watch attractive people in their bodies, that I will say that if they wanted to go, they could go there instead of watching ASMR. So I just think that it's kind of a thing that I think people say just to, knock down someone's credibility.
Yeah.
And it's an easy blow. So, but yeah.
Yeah. It's just little men with issues on the internet, basically. That's what we'll say, and we'll move on.
Yeah.
Since the creation of your channel, you've had 12 videos surpass that 1 million views, which is an amazing feat. Like, just to even get one, but to like get 12 is something that most people will never do. But the last time a video did that was over a year ago, right? Is that something that you think about a lot, and does it bother you?
No.
No.
I didn't even know that 12 videos had hit a million views.
Okay.
So, I definitely, it stayed the same of how I began making it, of where I make it, to relax people. And, if there were to ever come a day where it's like there's only 2 people watching me and sticking around and watching, if I'm helping better 2 people's days, and then, I'll continue doing that.
Love that.
I think, there's some people on the internet that really focus on views, and eventually you'll kind of see that come across in their content. And there's nothing wrong, wanting people to watch your content, but if you're no longer making it because you enjoy it and you're making it for attention,
Well,
then
you're
I think
selling
you've
out,
kind of
right?
lost why you began. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, if a video happens to reach that milestone again, that's fantastic. That's great. But it's definitely not going to stop me from doing the videos that I'm doing.
Yeah, great answer. I don't, when I ever ask these questions, it's hard for me because I'm like an empath. So I'm like, oh, what if she thinks I'm just hating on her? Like, I never think these things, but
No, I don't.
I think of them as like good questions. You know what I mean? So I would never want you to think that. What was I going to say? Instead of asking the question, what do you think it'll take to reach that level again? How about I ask it this way? How about what are the main areas that you think that you could improve on with your content?
Um, I would definitely like to improve on the length of my videos. I just happen to feel like I'm kind of busy, and so I would like to go back to producing more content and longer content like I used to.
Yeah,
Um,
I would like that as
just,
well as a fan.
um, and definitely think that I think there are times in which my production could be better, but I'm also someone, again, I don't have a video editor, I don't have an audio editor, I
Right.
don't have, it's just me. I'm the only, Jinx is just Jinx. So, like, I'm the only person that does it. And because I kind of want to be in control of my
Yeah.
stuff, and I kind of like to learn new things and how to do it. And I think sometimes, people will be like, when are you going to do videos in 4K? When are you going to do all this stuff? And I would be interested in doing that, but just at the time, like, I think it's a bit not my style, and I've kind of stuck to what I've always sort of done. So,
Yeah. I I think the thing with like, just to nitpick something there, I think we'd like people asking for 4K. I don't know if you've looked into this, probably haven't. That's probably just me, but for the most part, most people watch YouTube in general, but like ASMR on the phone. The difference between watching a video in 1080p and 4K on a phone is so negligible. Like, you're not even going to notice the difference. So it's like,
mhm.
I don't think you've produced a video in 4K, but like the memory it takes up, and the export and times, it just adds on to all these little things. It takes your time away. And
Yeah.
obviously with someone that's, going through college, it's just like you're already sacrificing so much of your time. But to go back on what you were saying, like, that's super respectful. Like, I've definitely gained a lot of respect for you from doing this podcast. So
Thank you.
from a personal standpoint, it's definitely meant a lot. But yeah, let's do something a bit more lighthearted. So I got a quick fire round for you. Okay,
Okay.
Jinx. So we got to be quick. We got to be fast. We got to channel our inner Flash, Quicksilver. What's the guy in My
Okay.
Hero called? I forgot his name. Ingenium, is he called? No.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah. You don't even know.
I'm blinking too. I'm like nervous.
Well, the thing is, in My Hero is they all have like 6 names. His first name's Ishida.
Yeah.
The guy with the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry, I'm making references out the wazoo. Okay. Right, first one. What are your favorite videos to film?
Role plays.
Role plays. Favorite videos to watch?
Lo-fi.
Favorite ASMR creator?
Oh gosh.
Oh, pressure's
I
on.
would say right now is Glow.
Okay.
But you're definitely you're top 2.
What? No, I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. You did not compare me to Sharon. There's no way. Favorite anime?
Naruto.
Nice. DC or Marvel?
Ooh. I would have to say DC.
I knew you were gonna do it.
I grew up watching
That's where we're gonna end the
them.
podcast,
Teen Titans.
guys.
I can't. I can't say it. I have Teen Titans. Jinx is
True.
here, so.
Yeah, you've definitely got more of an affiliation. Favorite season of the year?
Fall.
Nice. Okay, this one. You don't need to answer this if you don't want to. I don't even want to ask you it now. Like, I've put pressure on myself. Who is the hottest ASMR creator? This is going to be the title, by the way, so no pressure. No pressure. It's not really, don't worry.
Oh gosh. I'll just say I plead the fifth. I won't answer.
Oh no, she copped out.
I won't answer it. I won't say anything. I don't want to create anything.
No, that's so good. Okay, this one is to appease the community, appease your fans. Would you date a fan?
Oh gosh. I don't know. Possibly. I mean, because anyone can become a fan of anything. So,
Right.
but probably wouldn't date someone who's like obsessed with like my videos or the persona that's online.
That's too
Because it feels
creepy.
kind of
Yeah. So like
yeah.
if you maybe met a guy and he was like, oh, actually, like I'm a fan of you, and but he wasn't like. It's weird though, because I guess if he says that, then it kind of sounds creepy. But like he's got to be honest with you at the same time, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Sorry for that. And then
No,
the
you're fine.
the last one is a deep one. Most important thing that you want out of life?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I did say.
I would say to just feel like I brought others happiness the way that I've experienced happiness, brought to me from
Yeah.
others. And whether that's online or in person, I just I really want to bring happiness to people. I think that that's the biggest thing I want out of life is just that fulfillment and knowing that, I'm able to change someone's day with maybe a 13-minute video or even saying, giving them a compliment on the street or something. Just living life as kind as I can.
Yeah. That's one of mine as well. So that's super
Mhm.
respectful. Yeah, good answer. To go back on the DC Marvel thing, I just think like there's like isolated DC films which I think are really good, which are normally like not.
Mhm.
I wouldn't call them superhero films, like the Joker, the most recent Joker film, like the Dark Knight
Mhm.
trilogy. They're like peak DC to me, but I feel like for the most part, like this DC universe that they've created is kind of like missed the ball. But I compare that to the MCU, and I just think what Marvel are doing there is just so much better. But what do you think?
Um, I would probably have to agree. I think that right now, um, DC's kind of all over the place, so there isn't a
True.
similar feel
Mm-hmm.
as there is with Marvel. Like when Marvel creates the movies, they're even going into then making TV shows, and you see like
Right.
WandaVision or any, all of that, or even the Loki show, and there's so much that then came from their movies that then
Mm-hmm.
get adapted into TV shows, and now you're seeing that then they're doing the one with Haley Steinfeld, the like Hawkeye one.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what the show if that's what it's called.
I think it's just called
But
Hawkeye
so they're
or something
doing
like that. Yeah.
okay. So they're doing like a next generation Avengers even, and they even did it with Black Widow. And I think right now, like DC's coming out with they're doing the Batgirl movie, and they're still doing some Harley Quinn movies, and
Right.
those are still set in like a different Batman universe, like with
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's Batfleck, and then but then they're still doing Rob Pattinson and his like new Batman. So it's like we've got two different universes going on,
Like
but
you said.
filming's still going on. So I
Yeah.
think people don't feel the same comfort level with DC that they do with Marvel.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. To be fair, I forgot about that Rob Pattinson film. I'm actually looking forward to that. I think it'd be quite good.
Yeah.
I think DC does best the darker it does it. Like, I mean, I named them like the Dark Knight trilogy and the Joker films. They're like, they're pretty dark for the most part, right? And I feel like that's where DC should stick to. Whereas I feel like Marvel's kind of like serious as well. Like obviously Endgame and Infinity War were like quite serious films, but for the most part, they were still like lighthearted and very comedic. And I feel like DC's kind of looked at that and tried to emulate it, but it just hasn't worked. And I feel like the biggest example of that is probably like the Jared Leto like Joker in the first Suicide Squad and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah.
I think Marvel definitely gives off. I mean, since now they're kind of involved with Disney,
Right.
I think they sort of give off that feel good, production quality, and I think that DC does well with the more darker qualities and the more, grungy sort of films. And I don't really think that there's actually like a character really involved in Marvel's side that feels like a really dark character. They all still have like a lot of lighthearted things, but it's like when you get with Batman, it's like
Right.
he's just so like, I work alone, like like so just
cut the crap.
so yeah, he's like so serious, and it's like sometimes people will compare like Batman to Iron Man, but it's still like Iron Man to me is still very, he's still like loose and outgoing, and like he doesn't exactly, I think sometimes Batman sort of hates being Bruce Wayne. So it's like where that's kind of the opposite for Iron Man. He kind of loves, the aspect of it all.
I mean, you can think about it as like, there's characters like Wolverine, which are like pretty dark and not that, not that there's not that comedic aspect to them. But like, I think Deadpool is like a very, he's a very dark character when you think about it, but obviously people know him for his humor. So it's like you never get that complete darkness, I guess.
Right, and he breaks the fourth wall a lot, and it almost feels like you're there with Deadpool, like experiencing the movie. You're like, oh yeah, like my friend Deadpool that like I know, and I think it's kind of like when they do the more grunge or gritty movies, Marvel, like they did it with the X-Men franchise and stuff like that. Those sort of have fallen flat, and those are kind of like the ones that Marvel doesn't really talk about, even though they've tried to redo it a few times. But I know I'm a big X-Men fan,
Same.
Definitely a bit heartbroken sometimes by the films, and especially I think it was The Last Stand, which was the third film like a while back, like in the
like 2006,
2000, and that one was sort of and that one was sort of not,
but they've had
anywhere.
Yeah, they've had good X-Men films. Like I think Logan is probably like a top 5 superhero film for me. I think that was very good, and I liked some of the newer stuff they did with what do you call it? James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender with like First Class, and even like Days of Future Past I think was good. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with it now, because it's now like fully Disney right now. Like they have full control over it, where they didn't have that in the past. It's like same with Fantastic Four, which have all been pretty like terrible films for the most part.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see like now we have like full hands on Disney what they do with them franchises, because they're some of my favorites. Like I love Silver Surfer. Like give me some of that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's interesting to get his perspective, because I know through being a fan and following your social media that you've heavily into these fandoms. So it's nice to talk about it.
Mhm.
Um, Talk to me about Jinx outside of ASMR. I know we've talked about cosplay and anime and superheroes and all that stuff. What is she doing? Like, what are your hobbies and interests? And I guess any random ones that you maybe haven't brought up before, or some like dead unique ones that you like to do.
I definitely, well, I sew, so I do costume crafting and wig making, and I do like for the My Hero video, the Momo wig, like I made that wig, and then the Uraka suit, I had made the suit and styled the
Yeah.
wig, so you can see them then in my videos, some of the hobbies that I do, but I also, for a bit, I used to voice act, sort of freelance, but I used to do that. I haven't
Wow.
done it in a bit, but and then sometimes I'll still sing. I'll randomly post it on Twitter or something. Um, I guess something else maybe. I I love to color. I don't talk about coloring a lot, but I definitely
That's
it's
nice.
something that relaxes me. I'll buy like a children's coloring book and just
Right.
like color like cute little animals and stuff,
Like the
and I
ones where
find it very
they have
relaxing.
like the numbers in the picture, and it's like, oh, a two is like a
Yeah,
yellow, and you color that bit in yellow.
yeah,
It's so nice.
it is.
I feel like you could do that for like an ASMR video as well. That'd be cool.
Definitely could,
Something
yeah.
along those lines. Yeah. Anything else? Is that? I mean, I know you do. That's pretty much a lot, and I know how like time
Hmm.
consuming hobbies can be. But is that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got school and then
Yeah. That's it,
just like
isn't it?
watching movies or reading when I have time. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. To finish off the present section, I always ask my guests if they have any tips for people who are thinking about starting their own channel, who are maybe already in the process of starting the channel. What advice would you give to them?
I would say to just truly just do it. Just jump the boat and upload it. No matter how awkward you may feel, you don't have to have a fancy mic or anything. You can start with lo-fi even on your phone.
Hmm.
They've definitely made. I mean, I'll go into a Target nowadays and they've got a Yeti and a different, I think a snowball, just like out there where you can buy it. And definitely when, I started and was looking at ASMR, you had to go onto Amazon
Hmm.
or, order it online somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot more
Accessible.
accessible if
Yeah.
you want to try it out. And again, yeah, you'll find your audience, but if, I would definitely say, if you're in this to enjoy it, then be in it to enjoy it, but don't be in it to be sort of like, oh, I'm going to be the next, ASMR darling in 2 months. It's like, that she's put in a lot of hard work and effort. And I think sometimes people think that, being a YouTuber or online is like a get rich quick sort of thing or something. And that's like not the
Yeah.
case at all. So definitely, if you want to start it, I would do it out of enjoyment,
Great advice.
because
And
it's really fun.
yeah, but just don't expect to get 20,000 subs in 3 weeks. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, don't. That was a crazy thing.
So yeah, we'll move on to the future now. Um,
Mhm.
in terms of ASMR content, is there things that you like definitely want to do that you haven't had a chance to do yet? In terms of like styles or genres of ASMR, or is it just kind of going to be like more of the same style going forward?
Um, I would definitely want to eventually have the setup of two mics where,
Oh,
I
okay.
can
Yep.
I can stand and I'll have two mics that I can, it's specifically the left ear and specifically the right ear. I genuinely enjoy that. I just don't have the space right now
Hmm.
to create something like that or have that set up. So I'd love to get into that. I would love to do more role play videos that are very like very thorough and like long ones. I'd love to do like 30-minute long ones of where you really feel immersed
Uh huh.
into that
Yeah,
role play, which I think would be really fun. And I'd kind of like
definitely.
the production quality to go up a bit.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see that. I think you'd smash it.
Mhm. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because I don't think you've done. You've done stuff like haircuts and stuff like that, but you haven't done like a full on medical like role play, have you?
Mm-mm,
No.
I haven't.
So we definitely need that in our lives, Jinx.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you've done a lot of collabs, if any. Is there people that you would love to collab with? Like who would your dream collab be?
I did do one collab. Now it's not on my channel though. It's with VRY, and she does voiceover stuff. So this was a few
Oh, okay.
months ago, and she reached out to me and she was like, if you even want to do it, and I was surprised that anyone reached out to me. Um, but so I was able to do a voiceover, but it wasn't a video collab. But I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah,
I,
that
I
sounds awesome.
genuinely enjoyed doing it. Uh, but to do, I've talked a few times with Heather Effect, um,
Okay.
if you know Heather.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do something. It's just the schedule's like constantly, or just like a lot going on
Super,
in
super
life.
busy.
So I would still love to do something with her.
Yeah.
I would love to do something probably with Diddley. I think that would be fun. I would also probably like to do something with Glow. I think that would be neat. And of course, GB, I think
Yeah.
would be awesome.
I think the whole world would love to see them collabs. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like Diddley would like. I feel like you and Diddley were probably like two of my favorites for many years. So that would be awesome.
Thank you.
I definitely want to get Diddley on at some point as well, because yeah,
Mhm.
she's another one of them creators that I did in that video. Because I feel like she's got quite an iconic intro as well. So that would be
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Hopefully, when you finished, your college course, you can free up some time and get dived into that. Because
Mhm.
I don't feel like you've even reached like your full potential yet. So I'm just excited to see.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll be cheering on for sure. Um, do you have any like future projects in the works that you can maybe talk about? Obviously, if you don't want to disclose anything, that's cool, and you want to keep it secret. But yeah, any leaks that you can give us? What's coming up?
I definitely have a cool Marvel-based, even though I said DC is my favorite, um, a Marvel-based
Traitor.
roleplay video. I know, yeah. Coming out soon. I just need to work on some technicalities with it, and so I want to release that hopefully either at the end of this month or at the beginning of October. And then I'm wanting to do a more sort of spooky video in October, as I know a lot of creators do, but I haven't particularly done one. I think the closest I did was like a crazy ex-girlfriend, which I kind of do that now throughout the year. So
Yeah, I feel like they're
so
definitely your what's the word? Like, yeah, you're iconic for them, I think, at this point. Yeah.
yeah.
That's what we'll say. Just to go back, actually, there's something I thought about when you're talking about that voiceover collab that you did. Do you watch a lot of like
Mhm,
because there's a lot of like audio only ASMR, and people go
mhm.
heavily with like the voice acting on that. Do you watch a lot of that yourself, or is that not something that you dive into?
It really wasn't something that I had really watched before. I actually, I think she reached out to me, and then I started seeing the content that she was doing, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And then I kind of got into watching it, and really, I was amazed by what they could do without, having the mic on screen, without, doing like everything in front of the camera. It was completely
No visual.
auditory, and I
Yeah.
thought that was, yeah, I thought it was really neat. So I definitely got into it. And it's still something though that I watch today because I'm always interested in watching new stuff and getting involved in it.
Well, I got to plug one of my smaller creator friends in the community. She's called Salute
Mhm.
ASMR. And she does a
Okay.
lot of like fantasy voice acting ASMR, basically similar to
Mhm.
what you described there. So definitely give her a check out, because I think you'll enjoy
Yeah.
that. Yeah, shout out Salud if you're watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, have you thought about doing? I know how hard it is, obviously, with your studies and stuff. But in the future, have you thought about doing other types of content, like streaming, vlogging, things like that? I know you said right at the start you would never do vlogging, but yeah.
Yeah. Um, I've thought about it on and off, and then sometimes I think with vlogging, I'm like, oh gosh, people will just realize eventually that I'm just this girl that sort of sits and like isn't. I mean, you could watch, 7 hours of me watching anime on my phone if you want to, but I think vlogging maybe still isn't exactly for me. I don't think I live the YouTuber vlog life that people would enjoy watching.
But I mean,
But
it
I have
doesn't
thought about.
it doesn't need to be that though. Like, I feel like you could video yourself putting together like a cosplay. I feel like that would be really good content and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've definitely that would be one that I would get more so into, would maybe be, filming some costume making or,
Yeah.
me getting ready to do in some behind the scenes things. I have thought about that. Um, Streaming kind of makes me nervous,
No, you got this.
since it's like live in sorts, but I've thought about it. I know people at the very beginning really wanted me to do it. But maybe in the future, I never
You
know. I
never
mean,
know.
when I first started my channel, I didn't know that I would hit 20,000 within 3 weeks. So let's see,
Oh, I
where
know
I
you.
get from here.
I know you do well on Twitch. I think I seen you had a Twitch channel, right? But you just never streamed on there.
Mhm. I mostly have it because people will upload my videos onto Twitch, and then I have to say, "Oh no, I'm the real person." Just I know a lot of ASMR creators have problems with that recently, so.
Yeah. Um. A very I'll call it a popular platform at the minute. You can probably guess where I'm going with this. Is OnlyFans. And a lot of creators are diving into that world. I know someone who I'm friends with does it, but she just kind of uses it because she prefers it over Patreon. She doesn't like the system, so there's nothing that's not safe for work on there. It's still just like extra content and behind the scenes stuff. So she does that on there. Is that something that you've thought about? I'm guessing you've had a lot of people ask you about that. So yeah.
It's definitely something I did think about, and then the recent controversy that they had. I had a lot of friends that were affected by it, so
Okay.
I don't think that I would ever join OnlyFans, but maybe sometime in the future, I might maybe switch platforms. But right now, I'm sort of happy with Patreon, and just because I have such a wide audience of people that either follow me for ASMR or follow me just based on my cosplay sometimes.
Right.
And some of them don't want to watch the ASMR videos that I upload, and some of them don't want to see the cosplay stuff that I do and only want to support the ASMR. So, Patreon having those different tiers is sort of nice to me.
Right.
But I've also thought about creating two different, accounts, one for ASMR and one for, just me doing cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also people that then tell me where they're like, well, I enjoy both. And it's like, yeah, I
You're
don't think
never
those
gonna.
people will want to subscribe to me 2 times. So,
Yeah, you're never gonna win. I don't think it's something like that. I would just
yeah.
trust your gut instinct and go with it.
Mhm.
But yeah, interesting for sure.
Mhm.
And then the final thing is, like what are the ultimate goals of the channel? I know a lot of people don't like to think too far ahead and down the line. Obviously you're doing this and your cosplay and you're studying. Is the idea just to go into full-time content creation like when you've finished and hopefully sustain that? Like, would you be happy with that for the rest of your life? Like, where can you see things going, or where do you want to see things going is another question.
I think definitely content creation is where I can see things going right now and putting a lot of my effort into that. I think if I got a job that was sort of like a 9 to 5 or something, I really
You
wouldn't be
wouldn't
able to
Yeah.
do all the stuff that I do. And I wasn't expecting when I first started this for this to even be a job possibility. And so I definitely, have had to change the way, like my ways of thinking and, what my other future plan was and adjust it more so to now this. And I would love for content creation to be something I'm able to continually do and, have people support. I think that the ultimate goal for the channel would probably be um, just just maybe, more so respect for creators like me, which I would say more so the creators that are a bit more maybe not looked upon like YouTube friendly or
Yeah.
overlooked because we do other things outside of just ASMR. And I definitely just want to be, sort of a voice for people. And that's kind of why I keep the channel around. So then it's like, if other women do similar content like I do and still want to do ASMR, then they can totally do that. Don't care about what other people say or anything, wear what
Yeah.
you want to, say what you want to, and keep creating because it doesn't stop you from what you're able to do.
No, because I think like there can definitely be that distinction. Like you can totally do just like normal ASMR videos and still have like this like not safe for work platform where you upload or do whatever on, right? And
Mhm.
I don't think YouTube should punish you just for doing that, because you're not doing anything wrong on their
Mhm.
platform, right? I think that's kind of what you're getting at there.
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
that's important because um maybe I shouldn't talk. No, I'm not. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that. That was like some personal stuff about me. Don't worry, it wasn't anything to do with you. But I definitely get that. And it's only fair on people to do that. So yeah, I agree with you. I hope these platforms can definitely do a better job. I know Twitch is struggling a lot with that, and there's a lot of people that are wanting to like
Mhm.
push like 18 plus categories on Twitch and stuff like that. And um, yeah, I don't know if you've seen, but a couple of months ago there was some big like Twitch e-girls that came over to ASMR and they were doing things and that like affected like normal Twitch ASMR Twitch streamers because then people were going into their chats and being like, why aren't you doing what this person's doing? And like, oh, like this isn't sexual. Like I don't want to watch this and stuff like that. So it was having a negative impact for sure. Um, but yeah, that's a conversation for another day. I think that can start another whole yeah.
Yeah, I'll just quickly say I think that there are people online that don't respect the boundaries of others, definitely. And it's like, you should just respect that if there's a content creator that does the type of work that you want to see, watch them. Don't go into someone else's chat or
Right.
comments and pressure them into doing something they don't want to do
100%.
because there's plenty of ASMR creators or even just, regular YouTube creators that definitely I think felt pressured to make like an OnlyFans or be involved in that community because people would ask all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, if somebody doesn't do it, just don't pressure them to do it. Then that's not their area, but there's plenty of other people that do that you could definitely, find enjoyment from. So I think people need to keep that in mind too, that people do have boundaries even if they're on the internet and easy to access.
Yeah. No, I think you summarized that perfectly, and I think that's a good note to end on. I definitely want to take this chance to thank you for coming on and taking the time out of your day. I know how precious time is, especially when you are doing a degree. So thank you so much, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
I have. I want to say thank you so much for having me. This is my first ever interview. I had a great experience too, which is really nice. And yeah, I hope you had fun having me on the show and learned some new things. So,
Yeah, honestly, it's been a blast. I'm
mhm.
definitely going through a difficult time in my life, so filming these episodes, especially with you, is definitely something that brings me a lot of happiness. So thank you on that standpoint as well. But yeah, for those of you guys who have made it this far, and maybe before this you weren't familiar with Jinx, I'm pretty sure that's an anomaly if that happens. But if you weren't, then make sure you check out the video description and the pinned comment. It'll have the links to her channel and all her social media pages down below. So yeah, make sure you go and support her. If you like this type of thing and you want to see more of it, this is episode 25. So there's 24 previous episodes you can go and watch. I also upload these in audio only form, so you can find them on all the favorite podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. The audio versions of the podcasts go live the following Tuesday, so this will be live on a Wednesday. The following Tuesday, you'll be able to find it on them services that I just said. So yeah, the best way that you can support me is to like the video if you if you enjoyed it. Comment down below what you thought. If you have any questions for me or Jinx, leave them down below as well. That'd be really appreciated. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Like I said, these episodes get released every single week with a different ASMR creator. So you're not going to miss out, basically. I'm keeping the content coming. And yeah, when you do subscribe, click that bell icon and select all, so you get a notification every time a new podcast episode goes live, as well as a new ASMR video goes live, because I also upload them once a week as well. But yeah, this has been the Wiretap Whisper Podcast, episode 25. Jinx has been amazing, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.